Hello, are you out there? It's Mark with Redo Over, and we are back to, I think, episode 6-ish of our Stellaris in-depth tutorial. No DLCs, we're just playing the vanilla, but the modern Andromeda, I think, what are we, 3.12 or something right now? So, here we go. Where we left off, let's zoom out to our galaxy view. I think we have a colony ship currently under construction at Sol. Here at our shipyard, very nice. We don't need it yet, we're just getting ahead of it. It's a year-long build process. It's like, let's do it. So I'd say the exciting things going on right now are Zvox. It looks like a great system. It's got a lot of energy. It's got a bit of alloy. That's right. We could harvest alloy like off of asteroids in space. And it's got some, I'd call them space nuts because they kind of look like little pistachios to me. But yeah, rare crystals. You get it. Now, we don't have the technology yet. We will need rare crystal mining to harvest those. So at some point, it's going to be really valuable rare resource. But we have a little bit of time. I'm clicking on the Darwin and I mouse over. And it looks like it's going to be another year approximately for the survey to be completed. Awesome. So we've got the constructor ship there. It's going to build that outpost as soon as it's ready and then start building all those space stations to harvest those resources. So that's pretty good. And it's possible with the 5 items that are left to be for the Darwin to still survey, even more harvestable items could be found there. Out of the 5 of them, the chances that one of them yields some additional stuff isn't inconceivable. So it could get even better than it is. I'm like, fingers crossed here. We've left Bernard Star. We've just skipped it because it doesn't have a planet and it's within our safe space. So we have time to go back and do it later. But if we claim Bernard Star right now, or if we survey it, it's going to take time to survey it. And then we would have to claim it with our very limited influence. So I'd really let it sit for now. If it had a good world, I would do it, but it doesn't. So we're going to just say we'll get to it later. Now, there's a kind of a tricky thing here. I think we talked about this in an earlier episode. The Demon's Maw black hole system is surveyed, and it has very little resources. It has just a touch of physics research. Do I want that? Yeah. Do I want to build an entire outpost and spend 67 influence to claim the Demon's Maw to like bring it into our space of control? I don't really want to do that. I want to save my 67 influence for Zvox or for Decida up here. I think that's how you say that. Decida? It's not Decida. No, I think it's Decida. Okay. I'm a terrible speller. So however, if we were to skip the Demon's Maw like we did with Bernard Star, claiming Decida would take twice the influence. The alloy would stay the same. Think about this logically. The alloy to build that outpost doesn't grow because Decida is 2 systems away from our control of space, our zone of control. But the influence it would take to project our human, the will of our culture, of our people, out light years away, 2 systems away from our borders would be doubled. So it's a very inefficient way. It's not like inefficient like 25% more expensive. It's inefficient like 100%, twice as inefficient. Do not do it. Unless it's some critical emergency, I would never recommend skipping over a system. So we do need to claim the Demon's Maw. Do I do it now? If it's going to take Zvox 1 year, we'll just say, to finish, and we're gaining 3 influence, 12 times 3 would be 36 influence. I think Zvox is going to be ready well before we would regain our influence that we would lose from claiming Demon's Maw. So I'm going to leave this construction ship sitting here, and I'm not going to claim Demon's Maw right now. I could, but I'm not. I'm going to wait for Zvox. I see the Russian ship, as we've been calling it, is going to go survey this unknown system. Very cool. Awesome. And they're going to leave that difficult class 4 anomaly for the time being. That makes sense. And our United Nations of Earth fleet, we actually mapped out. They're going to just go explore just drive through the system, sail through the system, just driving. But they're not going to survey anything. Really, what they're looking for is xenos, aliens, or planets. They'll be able to see a planet, but I don't think they can analyze it. But we'll know it's there. We'll get like a little like this. You see this red icon with half gray? That is it's a potentially habitable world, but it is unsurveyed. Yes. However, Niam is a red habitable planet, potentially habitable, but it's completely red because it is surveyed. We just happen to know it's crap. Yeah, that's why it's red. But this is a question mark red planet. Is it good? Is it bad? We don't know. Okay. So I think everyone's got their missions. You notice we are starting to build a secondary fleet at Earth. Yeah, just because we have a surplus alloy. So yeah, we're going to try and build up our fleet. This is our naval capacity. We're at 8 of 30 ships. We want to fill up that capacity over time. There's no rush to do it because we're not at war. But yeah, we're going to try and get to essentially 30 corvettes. Yeah, what the heck? Over time. So, yeah. Is that it? No, there was one other thing I was looking at. Alloy. Zvox has 2 alloys that we will harvest. That's huge. That's like getting... Again, you're mining an asteroid to do that, right? You're getting the alloy right out of space. And the nice thing about it is it doesn't take a metallurgist pop job. Almost everything we harvest in the game takes pops, like on planets, that is to say. Your research, your food, your energy, your minerals, your consumer goods. You got to have pops slotted to those jobs. But in space, no one can hear you complain about your job. That's right. Because I guess the stations are kind of automated, or it takes very few people to run these massive mining stations. Yeah, that's what we'll say. That's what we'll say it is. It's like 1,000 people on a space station as opposed to a million on a planet doing the same job. So up here at the top, let's look over our resources again real quick. Our minerals, we're only getting a surplus of 22 minerals a month. It's pretty low. And you can see that we're gaining up our alloys very slowly, although we are spending them on ships and stations. Things in space, things you build in space take alloy. That's just it. That's simple. Okay. I would like to have more of it. I also noticed that our consumer goods, although we have a lot of consumer goods in the piggy bank, 1,200, we are, on a monthly basis, our surplus is shrinking. We're down to 10. We're going to keep shrinking until we get to 0 or into negatives. And then we'll start eating into the piggy bank. Why is that? It's because consumer goods are made to be converted, to be consumed and converted into other goods. We're making alloy. We're making research. We're making Unity out of them. We're making other shit. Okay, so I would like to buy more of those as possible on the market. Let's jump into the market here. You can see we're already selling off 10 food every month because we have so much surplus. And that number doesn't fluctuate readily because the only reason you consume more food is because your pops grow. You get more pops, but pops grow very slowly. So whereas something like your alloy or your consumer goods can fluctuate from month to month as you bring in new people, you're using them up, and you have a very small amount to start with, we have a relatively small amount of incoming food every month, but our pops are only going to change by like 1 or 2 at best in a month. Oftentimes, most months, we don't even get 1 pop growth. So that's why that food number is so stable. You can really play with it. You can do a lot with it. You could let it go into the negatives for a while when you have thousands saved up. You could let it go to negative 10 and be like, shit, I'm good for 10 years with negative 10 food growth. It's just not going to matter. We'll just use our surplus and let it work down. You could play that way, 100%. But I'm not too worried about that. Our minerals, good amount of minerals coming in, and we're spending them at a pretty good rate because most of the buildings we're building cost like 400 or 500 minerals. So it comes in, goes out. Minerals are awesome. And then energy, we have a huge surplus of energy. And you don't really, at least in the early game, output a lot of energy, to be really honest. The only thing you consume with energy is your taxes. We're paying for taxes on ships, stations, star bases, buildings, districts. And we're making +7 in monthly trades. that's from selling our food. So let's do this. Let's go to add new monthly trade. We want to buy consumer goods. I'm going to click this down to 3, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Let's add another one. Let's buy alloys, and we'll leave that at 3. Boom. So we're selling 10 food, but we're buying 3 consumer goods. We're buying 3 alloys. I know those are small numbers, but over years, it will add up. 3 is not an insignificant part of 22, nor is 3 an insignificant part of 10. It's actually a big chunk of 10. So it will slowly stretch that out for us over time. Now, why don't I buy more? These aren't very expensive. The consumer goods are buying at 2.6, so we're buying about 8 energy worth of consumer goods. And alloys are buying at 5.2, so we're buying about 16 energy worth of alloys. So altogether, that's about 24 energy deficit that'll come off next month. It'll adjust next month. That puts us down to about 130 extra energy. You're like, shit, you could buy 2 or 3 times that. You've got the overhead and energy. So this is a very obscure part of Stellaris. Stellaris has a buy point and a sell point for any item, and they kind of move together. Imagine like what you, the regular guy, would buy your minerals at or your food at is in the middle. What you would buy it on the market or sell it on the market for is around that central point, and they move together, right? Obviously, as buying becomes cheaper, the sell price is going to go down, and vice versa. As the sell price goes up, the buy price goes up. It represents supply and demand, consumer, producer, whatever. You get it. So check this out. Alloy prices haven't budged since we started the game. Consumer good prices, that's where they started. They have not budged, I don't think. However, our food, that used to sit at a 1.3 and the sell price was at a 1.7. They've both gone down in proportion to each other. Why? Because we are ever so slightly flooding the market with a surplus. 10 extra food that we sell is driving down the sell price. Only by a small amount. We've been doing this for like a year. It's only moved it down 1/100th, but it is pushing it down. If we were to up that sell number, it would push it down faster. Vice versa, if we were to buy, say, 30 consumer goods every single month, month after month after month, it would drive up the buy price of consumer goods, and we would shoot ourselves in the face. Now, there is a minimum number of minerals, food, consumer goods, alloys that you can buy without, on a monthly basis, without nudging it. I don't know what it is. I think you can find it on like the Stellaris wiki. And you might go, Mark, why don't you have that remembered? It's because with many of the versions of the game, they've adjusted it up and down. So it's not like it's been that number for 4 years and I just can't ever remember it. I used to know them, but things change. So long story short, we'll buy and sell in small amounts to not bury the needle to our detriment. Well, it'll always be to our detriment. If we buy, the price to buy goes up. If we sell too much, the value of selling goes down. So it's always in our detriment to do too much of this on any monthly time. I am going to make a quick demonstration. Let's do it. Check this out. We will go to consumer goods and we will... Should I do consumer goods? No. Let's do food because I don't care as much about food. Let us sell 500 food. We're going to sell 500 food, so we've got 3,600. We will get 345 energy, and let's see these prices adjust. Here we go. Boom. We did it. Look at it dropped from 0.69, okay, to 0.67. That's not really a special number in any way. And then over here, that went from a 1.29 to a 1.26. So... Now, there is a decay back to normal, a decay rate back to normal of, I don't know what it is, but if we were to clear all of our buys and sells and then just let the clock run forward a year, these numbers would drift back to the balance point, the starting point of the game. I don't know at what rate. It's incremental. It's small. So, but yeah, ultimately, we just want to make sure that our sell rate and our buy rates are not overly damaging these numbers. I know that was very... I explain that, though, because in the game, as you're playing it, all the tooltips, nothing tells you that. Only observation could tell you that. That's why I'm telling you. Whew. And now, we'll unpause the game. Sorry, we haven't done anything. Here we go. No. Everyone's like, yeah, dude, it's been like fucking 15 minutes and you haven't even done a day. We're gonna be here for a long time. All right. Shit's happening. We're moving to the Orthama system. Science is gonna start investigating there. Obviously, our fleet, the first fleet, is gonna head out this way. We've got an investigation going on at Romston. Very cool. There's our colony ship. Let's grab our colony ship and we'll just send it forward to Demon's Maw just to pre-position it. Because you can see Demon's Maw can go to the west or to the north. But we haven't found a colony world yet. But there's no reason in leaving the colony ship at Sol. We want to pre-position it because it takes a long time to travel the intervening light years. It takes years to get out there. Awesome. We're going to pause right there. So we did a couple cool things. Let's take a look. Oh, yeah. Some cool things did happen even without alerts. Look at this. Our colony ship moved to Demon's Maw. It's we're looking for that colony world. Check this out, though. Orthama, we've already found 10 minerals there. And the surveying's not done. We're going to want Orthama. That's a boat ton of minerals so far. But check this out. Down here, we're at Zvox. Zvox is ready for us to claim and build an outpost. We have 82 influence, so we can do the claim. And look we did gain, I think the minerals went from 2 to 3, and the alloys went from 2 to 4. 4 extra alloys is no joke. I'm so excited about this. Actually, when we have the constructor build those harvesting stations, I'm going to go for the alloys first. Absolutely. So I'm going to just real quickly, I didn't mean to do that. I'm going to click on the constructor and right click and say build starbase for 67 influence, 90 alloy. Yay. And then the other thing that now that's done, I'm going to move our science ship before I forget on to the next star system, survey system. Cool. Obviously this survey group's going here. And yeah. Now, interesting, Yolun is a dead end. It's a little strategic tip. By Orthama is the choke point for Runa, Jolun, Botine, Decida, all this north way into our system of space. Demon's Maw was the old choke point. And I could build a space station and build it up and put defensive platforms, make a defensive choke point at the Demon's Maw. But now, I know that I'm not going to want Demon's Maw to be our defensive northern border. I'm going to make Orthama our defensive northern border against potential military incursion. Because by putting one defended station there, maybe a small fleet of ships, any Xenos coming in from the galactic northwest via this route have to go through Orthama. And so I'm envisioning in my mind in the future, in the years to come, we will claim all of this. We will claim the Demon's Maw, Runa, Orthama, Decida, Botine, and Jolun. We want all of it. And we'll lock it behind an outpost, a starbase at Orthama. Yeah. Okay, so that's part of our strategy right now. Now, working out to the west, we don't have a choke point yet. Zvox is our choke point. Because the Zvox system is the only way into Mayer and past it. So whereas Mayer was our old choke point, it's now Zvox. But from Zvox, it branches. And you can see here, there's a path above and below and a path above and below. So there is no obvious choke point once you get past Zvox. So Zvox may be the western border of our civilization. It's a great system. So we've given them orders. Colony ships positioning. Let's do something real quick. Let's go jump into our shipyard. And we, just because they have nothing to do, let's get a few more corvettes built. We've got 600 extra alloy We don't want to use it all up. Never use it all, but let's do 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. That'll leave us 250 alloy in surplus. And that's getting us, that'll get our 8 ships to 12 ships of the 30 we want. So you got to pay attention to that. Remember, you don't want to try and build your military fleet when you need it. It's too late then. It's going to take too long to build 20, 30 ships. It'll take years to do it. And you're getting your ass kicked the whole time. It's very easy in the early game of Stellaris to sit there and say, well, there's no enemies. There's no bad guys. No Xenos. I don't need a navy. You don't need a navy until you need a navy. So it's a good use of your time and your alloys. Your alloys don't do anything for you sitting there gathering rust. FYI, folks. Keep those alloys polished. Preferably on the hull of a spaceship. Yeah. Okay, but some other fun stuff happened. The system survey is completed. We know that, so we'll just dismiss that for Zvox. We don't need to look at that. But our tradition pick is ready. Yay! It's always so fun. By the way, I am wearing my own Doomcat merch shirt. See, the Doomcat has clawed its way through my sternum and is bursting out of my chest like a xenomorph. Yeah. I made that myself, and I sell it on my merch store. Does anyone want to go look at my merch? Yeah, I made the shirt because I wanted the shirt, and then I was just like, well, fuck it. I already made all the effort to make the shirt, so that's why it exists. Because I wanted a kitty cat clawing its way out of my chest cavity. Yeah. I imagine it's eating all my internal organs. Yeah, it's just it's my happy imagination. Pretty fun. I love cute kitty cats. It's like a derp cat. Yeah, and everyone's like, oh, that's pushing. No, it's not. See the little cleft ear here? His ear's been nubbed off, right? He's obviously different colors and markings. His whiskers are curved and they're thicker at the base and pointy. So it is not. It is not that cat. I'm just going to tell you right now. It's similar. I will give you that. But it's meant to be highly grim, slightly off-putting, and a little bit offensive. That's the whole point of Doomcat. Is it sickly cute in a very dark and off-putting way. Yeah. Okay. It's making fun of a trope. Up here, we have completed the 1700 unity we needed to gather. We're exactly there. Obviously 0 months because we're ready to select. So we have 6 more tradition expansion slots. So we just click up here. You can see there's 8 left of the original 9. Okay, so we want to pick an early game choice that is smart. Discovery is a good option early. It would increase it gives us the edict of map the stars, which I believe increases survey speed, which would be really good right now because we're kind of in a rush to survey. For that alone, I almost want it, as well as a bunch of other really nice, research options. Survey speed there. Research subsidies, bonuses to research station output. You just get that. What else do we got? Extra scientists, extra research alternatives, leader pool size +1. I guess that just is in general. Or is that across all your leaders? So like 3 administrators, 3 generals, 3 scientists. They all go from a 3 max to a 4 max. Is that what that means? I don't know. I assume that's what it means. That would be good. And they gain experience faster, meaning that your leaders will level up faster. That's good. And then research upkeep -20. Okay, that's just for your buildings, I guess, like your research labs and your scientists. Maybe your research space stations possibly fall under that. I would hope. That would be nice. And then the end capper on that is just a flat +10 to research, and of course the ascension perk. Sounds really cool. Is there anything else worth looking at though? I don't want to go over the entire damn thing here with you guys, but I know Prosperity's got some good stuff that might be good for the whole game. I think Harmony has some stuff that's pretty nice for the whole game. It's pop upkeeps. What else is in there? Leader lifespan. Pop demotion time is a big negative 75%. That's if you had a specialist, you needed them to drop down to the worker class. It happens way quicker. Minus 75% makes it a lot faster. Empire size from pops shrinks. Edict fund goes up by 50. That one's kind of so-so. The edict fund stuff it doesn't scale. It's not proportional. And I've heard a lot of people say it should be a ratio of your overall thing, but it's fixed. So late game, that would be worthless. Governing minus 10 to crime's nice. Plus 5 planetary stability is good. Yeah. I'm going to go with discovery. I think it's an obvious pick, and I'm not trying to be all clever about the playthrough. I'm trying to do stuff that's good advice to anyone who might be watching. It's like, do this. It's not going to hurt you. Is it the best pick right now? Debatable. But for the style of play we're doing, yeah, it's fine. Let's just do it. So right off the bat, it's going to unlock the Map the Stars Edict, which we'll go into edicts and we'll grab. And it's going to be anomaly research speed plus 20%. That's cool. We're researching the smaller, easier anomalies. The harder ones we're leaving behind. So it'll be somewhat useful to us right now. But yeah, let's do it. Yes, we grab the tradition. Obviously, we've got to wait now 40 more months till we can start delving into these cool unlocks, but we'll get there. But since we've got a new edict, let's utilize it right now. We're going to come over to our government tab. Active edicts? No, here. Policies and edicts tab. What do we want? We are at 17 of 20 for our edict fund. We have fortify the border turned on. We don't need it. We have not reached our starbase capacity, so we don't need that +2. We're only at 1 of 5. So, and the starbase upgrade speed, we haven't done any upgrading of any sort, so let's just turn that off. Cool. What you'll notice is this 1 of 5 starbase capacity will drop back down to 3. No issue yet. And here we go, map the stars. This is what we're going to want. So this edict pushes for further galactic exploration to bring light to the darkness and find what wonders lie beyond. Wow, I had trouble reading that. So this effect will last until it's canceled. Survey speed is plus 25%. That's good. Anomaly discovery chance plus 10%. That's also good. Every single little thing your ship survey, asteroids, planets, gas giants, stars, has a slim chance of finding an anomaly. All anomalies in general are good. They're little loot crates that you either open right away or you will open later in the game as you have time. But what this is saying is that, yeah, all your science ships are going to find 10% more anomalies. It's more loot. It's just free loot. It's a small amount, but instead of 10, you will find an 11. I like that. It doesn't hurt, that's for sure. And ship hyperlane detection range +1. Oh, I like that. I'll explain that here. So we click it. It's good. Boom. It's the best edict we can have right now, of the ones available to us. Ship hyperspace lane detection means we have here the Russian ship. It can detect ships 1 hyperspace lane away. Question? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. But with that edict, it's now saying that it can detect ships 2 hyperspace lanes away. Or do our ships not really detect other ships? I'm trying to see how I would. Here we go. I'm mousing over the actual Russian ship down at the bottom there. So here's what we got. Hyper ship lane detection range was +1. Now it's +2. So yes, it can see incoming alien ships. Cool. That's not bad. That's not a bad thing. Disengagement opportunity is a +1. We don't really know mechanically how that works, but sure, you got a 1 in it. Cool. Okay. Survey speed +35%. That's what we just enabled. Yeah. Anomaly detection chance +10%, and anomaly research speed +20%. Awesome. That's literally all the shit we just turned on. So a couple of those things are from us picking the tradition, and a couple of those things are from us turning on the edict. But our survey ships, our science ships are way, way better now because of that. Now, bear in mind that you got to make sure you're managing your edicts. Had we just selected the discovery tradition, we would have gotten like a couple of those things, like the survey speed, but we wouldn't have gotten the other things. But we had to go into the edict. So make sure you're reading what you're... Anytime you unlock a science, a tradition, or a science technology, make sure you read it thoroughly and understand how to take advantage of it, or you'll leave it. You'll forget it, and it'll just sit there, and you don't get it. You don't get the reach for the stars edict or whatever it's called. Okay, let's run forward another month. I know we've only got through like 22 days here. Sorry. I love to talk so much. In fact, let's look at our colonies real quick. Let's jump in. 4 pops here. Oh, hold on. Let's pause this. Okay, let's handle the anomalies. Then I want to look at our 2 new colonies, just so they're not wasting twiddling their thumbs doing something useless. Gas giant ship. Oh, this is around one of the systems in Orthama 3, the 3rd planet, obviously. Relative difficulty is challenging. Okay, now remember, Kang's Zoo here is a level 2, but this anomaly is a level 5. So relative to him, it's 3 more difficult. It would take him total time 450 days, year and a half. No way. No, year and a third. We're not going to do that. We'll leave it. So just leave B for now. Continue on, sir. But we're back to Alpha Centauri. Now, remember, Alpha Centauri Prime is a colony. Up here at the top, it says it's a colony. What that means is that we get +5 stability, +10 amenities, +10 happiness, 10% happiness, and automatic resettlement destination chances, meaning attracting people from Earth, is at +25%. Cool. We get that just from being a colony. Let's scroll over to Earth real quick. Earth is an empire capital. It's a different type of world. It gets 10 stability, 10 amenity, blah, 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 blah. We don't worry about it, but it's different. It's different. Now, how do we get Sirius Prime and Alpha Centauri Prime to stop being colonies and to become some other, a mining world, a harvesting world, a research world, whatever it is? Well, it comes down to our reassembled ship shelter. Right now, this is the one building we have. It's like a tent city, right? We got the ship's fusion reactors pulled out of there, providing energy. Everyone's living in cargo containers and shit like that, right? The habitats of the old colony ship. We want to upgrade it, though. And if you notice here, in the corner, you see this diagonal triangle with an up arrow. It's grayed out. What that's telling us is that this building type has an upgrade available. But it's a planetary administration building. It has a base upkeep of 5 energy. That's a really high tax rate. It's really expensive, but we could manage it. It would yield us 5 housing, 5 amenity, which interestingly is down from the 10 that the colony ship produces. So you'll take a little hit to amenities when you switch this over. But otherwise, it does give you 2 building slots. It gives you max corporate building +1, planetary defense armies, enforcer job, and 2 politician jobs. Awesome. We can't have enough politicians. So yeah, it provides some good stuff for it. It's good, but down at the very, very bottom, it says number of sapient pops is greater than or equal to 10. The red X, the reason we can't build it, the reason it's grayed out, is because we have to wait until Alpha Centauri's pop count, population. Is that the word? Is that the word population for how many pops you have? Of 10 or more. So we got a ways to go. But as soon as we get there, which will be a few years from now, we will upgrade it. Just pointing that out. But let's go into our population tab. You can see that currently we have miners and we have colonists. Interestingly, they're all in the worker stratum. They're all workers. They're at the bottom of the pyramid. They are the bronze color. Let's switch over to Earth. Earth has ruler stratum at the top of the gold, top of the pyramid. Specialists in the middle of the pyramid, they're silver. And workers, bottom of the pyramid, they're bronze. I don't know if I had pointed that out to you yet, but yeah. So the bottom line is these little colonies don't even have a different stratum. Everyone's a worker on the colony. Here's Sirius Prime. We have 2 electricians and 1 colonist. I want to get rid of our colonists. Yeah, I want to get rid of the colonist job. Why? Because a colonist does Okay, they speed up your planetary build speed. That's cool. That's good. That's not bad, actually. They give you 3 amenities. That's cool, but we don't... There's better ways to get amenities. And they produce 1.6 food. They don't need to produce any food. You could ship the food in your civilization anywhere, from planet to planet, station to planet. There's no freight service you have to use. There's no mechanism by which you have to do it. Your food just freely moves everywhere. It's kind of, to me, a little unrealistic in my opinion, but it's the way the game works, so why beat yourself over the head? I don't need to produce any food on Sirius. I don't need to produce any food on Alpha Centauri. We can have one farming world in our entire galaxy that feeds every other planet. And if that's an option, that's what we should do. Hell, you can even have your space stations hydroponically farm food. And no world grows food. You could do that as well. But for the time being, Colonist just isn't a good job. So what else do we want here? Well, we could delve into a research station. Wouldn't be bad. We could delve into a Unity production type of thing, which probably would also be better. I see we have a little bit of extra headroom on our housing. Let's leave that for now. Let's jump in here and go to... Yeah. I like a holo theater. A holo theater would do 2 nice things for us. It would get us extra Unity from our entertainer job, and it would get us a boat ton of amenities. Boat ton of amenities. Is amenities good? Yeah. Look, over here. Extra amenities. The effects from high amenities is citizen pop happiness of plus 20%. That's awesome. What does citizen pop happiness do? Well, if we jump over to the populations tab, we can see here pop approval rating. Is that pop happiness? It's similar. It's close to it. It's almost the same thing. Here you can see your little worker smiley face is 95%, right? So that's approval rating, happiness. They kind of blend together. They're not the exact same term, but they're similar. Okay. This is the value of the overall level of pop happiness on a planet. Yeah, that's right. So even though we're looking at pop approval rating, it's really a measure of the overall pop happiness. I think pop approval rating is stratified. This is an important point, and it's not obvious, to your worker stratification. So your workers can have 1 pop approval rating. Your specialists at the silver rank can have a different pop approval rating. And your rulers at the gold tier can have a different pop approval rating. That's why the word pop approval rating, those 3 stratums, is not pop happiness. Pop happiness hits all 3 stratums, worker, specialist, and ruler. But that's why the word pop happiness is not a direct 1-to-1 equivalent to pop approval rating. That is not obvious. And it was not clear to me for a long time. I had to think about it really, really hard to figure that out. Because I was just like, why are there 2 separate terms? Why isn't happiness just happiness? Why is happiness pop approval rating? I'm going crazy. But that's the reason. It's because they don't exactly measure the same thing, though they're tightly related. But yeah, so right now it's only showing workers because we don't have specialists or rulers, but eventually it will show it. So for instance, let's jump over to Earth. We click here. Aha! Our pop approval rating is averaged at 97%, but in fact our rulers are 100% pop approval rating. Our specialists are 99% pop approval rating, and our miserable sad sack workers are 94 pop approval rating. Yeah. Get those guys a Wally pop. They're so sad. Yeah, there you go. But when we come back up to amenities, we can see that, yeah, amenities is giving the overall citizen pop happiness plus 9.7%. Everyone gets that, but not everyone is equally, dare I say, happy or approving. Yeah. And then you go, okay, well, all that was a lot of explanation, but what does pop approval rating get us? I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea. No, just kidding. I do know. Check it out. We come up here to stability. I'm so funny. Under the effects from high stability, resources from jobs plus 26.4%, trade value, immigration pool. Yeah, and you can see under their stability is a measure of the overall political stability on the planet. It is primarily determined by the overall pop approval rating of the population. So yeah. Amenities makes you happy. Happy makes you approval. Approval makes you stable. Stable makes you work harder at your job. That is the very simple and nearly straight line connection between all those things. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, now that we all understand that. Yeah, listen, having a plus 25, 26, 30%, whatever it is to your workers is a big... So many things in Stellaris are like, it's plus 2%. And you're like, oh my God, that's so little. It's like, you're like, yeah, it really is very little. But over the next century of gameplay, it'll yield a lot. And you're like, I guess I'll wait for that bonus then, huh? You're like, yeah, you're going to wait a long time. Because it's very tiny. But 25% is a big chunk. It's a big chunk month by month by month. It's paying you right now. It is well worth it right now. So having more amenities is good for every other job. That's the equivalent. Having a lot of amenities pays you in everything else. Unity, research, and production of valuable resources. So, I'm going to jump over to Alpha Centauri Prime. I'm going to jump in here, and the first thing I'm going to build on this planet is a holo theater. Yeah, boom. We don't exactly need it, but we're going to want it. I want my people to be happy first and foremost in their miserable, miserable mining jobs. And I wonder, though, the other one is the Monument. Monument does not produce amenities. It produces a boat ton of Unity, but it doesn't produce... Yeah, I'm just making sure, yeah. Monument is a much better way to produce Unity than an entertainer job, but you don't get that massive chunk of amenities. So that's why I don't... I might build one of these later. It is kind of fun to have that chunk, but yeah. And you can only build one of those per planet, by the way. Let's jump over to Sirius. Same thing. We're going to jump in. We're going to jump to our amenities, holo theaters. Boom. So we're going to have a couple of entertainers. We're going to have some superstars, some Beyoncés running around, making everyone happy. It's going to be great. And then let's jump back into our populations tab, though. It's not ready yet, but when it's ready, I'm going to prioritize entertainment over these shitty colonist jobs. We don't want sad colonists. Boo. No, we don't like that. So Alpha Centauri is already prioritizing minerals. Very cool. And then Earth. I do want more specialists. I actually do want to get more people in that job, but I can only gold star. I don't know what see the little ribbon here. We have the prioritization on top of our artisans right now. I could unclick it, not prioritize it. It's full. It's 3 of 3, so that's cool. But I could get even more entertainers. Could I prioritize that? Yeah. It's gonna pluck someone away from some other job. I don't know which job. Ooh, could we downgrade enforcers? Oh, we could. Enforcers are limited use. It gives you a +1 stability, right? Out of all this. Yeah, it's not that useful. And it gives us a negative 25 to crime. But our crime is almost non-existent. Here we are at our amenities. We only have, let's see, 18 positive amenities surplus. Is that what that is? For 9.7? Let's just try it. Let's see how high we can get that happiness. Although we may hit a ceiling over here on how happy we can get. But let's try it. Let's just try it. So let's do this. Let's open this up. Let's go to our enforcer job. Let's fire our enforcer. And let's... and there we go. They actually automatically went into entertainers because it was a available job at the same stratum, at the special stratum. That's why they just clicked over. Cool. So let's see what the effect of this choice was. We're going to close that down. We see immediately our stability drop by 1. Our crime is now at 2% instead of 0. And our amenities hasn't increased yet, but it will. Let's run the clock. Run the clock, folks. Let's see what happens. Oh, it popped up. There, it just went. Hold on. All right, a couple things happening here. Election coming up. Oh, right, because we're a democracy. Every 10 years, we have to have an election. So our current president, Dolores, could get voted out of office. Possibly. And if you look up here at the clock, it is indeed the year 2210. So, yeah. So, the results of the election will happen in 6 months. Okay, awesome. We'll hit okay. These are our candidates. Our candidates here. We have actually quite a few. Wow. You can see experience level. You can mouse over to check the age of your candidates. You can look at their special abilities, like what are they good at. So, for instance, Dolores is obviously a ruler, but she is a politician skill, meaning that the effect as a counselor to the council agenda speed is +5, so she'll get agendas out faster. And she has an eye for talent, so she's a really good leader because she has 2 specials right now. And that is an empire effect as a counselor as leader experience gain +5%. There's nothing wrong with that. All the leaders, all of our leaders, scientists, generals, whatever, get experience faster because of Dolores here. Now, also, there's Herman, who's pretty experienced. Herman's a level 3 scientist. His specials are expertise in biology. So, as a leader, he does provide a +25% to biology research options popping up, and he researches biology faster. Cool. And he's good at anomaly research on science ships. Here's a problem. If Herman gets elected president, that intuition as an anomaly researcher will be completely wasted. It's not an optimal job for him, to be quite blunt. Who else we got? Yeah, all sorts of other people. I'm not going to read through them all. Some are younger, some are older, some are higher level, some are not. And then over here, this is the support. I guess that's like the voting box with a die, meaning the randomness, their chance of getting elected, I guess is what that represents. I haven't really looked at this. This indicates how much political support this candidate currently has. The outcome of the election can be influenced by increasing support for a candidate. Oh, can we do that? Can we cheat? Right here. Yes, you could cheat. Although we're a democracy, we can definitely push the lever. What would this get us? For 290 unity, which we've only got 162, but we could get there. We would have that in 3 months. The election's 6 months out. So we could push our finger on the scales of the election. Left click on the candidate to select them. And I don't know how much it would help. I don't know. I don't think it guarantees that you win. I think it just increases the odds. Yeah. I don't think you get to just select it, but maybe you do. I don't know. But right now, Dolores has the best odds, the most support. This is coming from her ethics match up with our empire's ethics. Her personal ethics, good. She is the current ruler, +10%. Her traits, meaning 2 traits, yield the +10%, and her skill is 6%, meaning 2% for each level. So your more skilled, higher level leaders are going to have more support. Leaders that match the ethics of the empire will have more support, and the number of other cool shit they have is going to increase. Yeah, there you go. So Dolores has a reasonable chance of. If we really want Dolores, and I kind of do, I could save up to 290, click the increased support, and then select Dolores, and then presumably this number will go up. I think we might do that. If I can remember to do that, we'll do that. Just because we're here to experiment, see what happens. If we don't do anything, it'll just randomly select one of these based off their support, and we'll get whoever we get, which is fine. But then we don't get to see how that functions in the game, and we should activate all the functions to learn together. All right, and I actually really like Dolores. She's a great leader. So what were we doing? We were looking at our amenities popped up because we added an entertainer job. So the massive plus 31 available amenities gives us a very large citizen pop happiness of 16.7% from 9.7. So it pushed that happiness up quite a bit. However, it's only barely edged up our stability a couple percent. Because it's not about just stuffing your population's faces and making them the most happy possible people. You can only stuff the turkey with so much stuffing before you run out of room. Yeah, that's what's going on there. We have other things that make our Earth a good place. It's the capital, the difficulty setting of our game. They don't know that, but yeah. Pop approval rating. Yeah, there's a lot of other stuff contributing to just making it a very stable and happy place. So you can't just cram this number out. I'm going to make my plus amenities 90 and then I'll get, It's like, no, you will lose efficacy. You'll stop getting stuff for it. And that's an important thing to remember, is that you don't need your amenities to be crazy high. You need to have a certain amount extra and then don't worry about it anymore. So you wouldn't make, can you build more than one Hollow Theater? I think you can, right? See the monument here, the planet limit is a 1 of 1, but the theater has no limit. You could make more and more and more entertainers, but having more and more amenities ain't going to help you out. So that's nice. It's one less thing to worry about, to drill down into. You don't chase it, because catching it won't give you anything. Okay. But otherwise, yeah. Otherwise, our other 2 colonies are building the Hollow Theaters. They'll have them when they have them. So that election symbol, I don't think we can dismiss it. It's going to sit there till the election. And we found an anomaly that we were just skipping on. Otherwise, the Russian ship is going to continue surveying. And let's just run the clock. Let's run the clock. The India just finished construction. I am stopping the game there because I want to jump in. I want to prioritize alloys first. So we're going to grab the India and we're going to shift. Is it shift? Right click, shift. Let's harvest. Let's do this. Let's harvest here, mining station. Then we're going to harvest the 8 energy of the Zivok star because that's massive. Boom. And then we will harvest the asteroids there. We still have more minerals. We can keep going. So then we will harvest the energy around the gas giant. Then we'll harvest the minerals around that small moon. And then lastly, we'll harvest. Do we even build you? I don't know that 1 mineral's even worth it. I'm gonna stop there. I'm not gonna drill down too deep into it, but we will think about it. We're gonna harvest all the other good stuff. We're gonna leave that 1 mineral thing there because of this. The 1 station to get that 1 mineral will cost us 1 energy upkeep. And as far as I know, 1 mineral is I'm probably being stupid. It's probably worth it, but it's almost not worth it. It almost is not worth it. You'll notice, by the way, that you'll never find an energy resource in space that's worth less than 2. Because it would not be worth it to harvest a 1 energy resource with a 1 energy cost station. It'd be a total wash. And as I'm thinking through the game, and you guys can correct me on this if I'm wrong, I don't believe you'll ever find a resource that is worth 1 energy. 2 is the least it will go. Other things like minerals, like in Zivok, we found a 1 mineral resource, but not anywhere else. So long story short, let it run. Boom. Let's go. We're watching our unity here because we're going to try and sway the outcome of the election. Awesome. We don't have enough influence yet to develop Romston, unfortunately, or the Demon's Maw. We're saving up our piggy bank. But let's send our science ship onwards. So we will send this science ship to Ulm here. Sure. Survey that system. And otherwise, yeah, this construction ship's just gonna sit there and romp some for the time being. Yeah, constructor ships a lot of times don't do anything. It kind of sucks. What about our fleet? Geez, our fleet actually explored all these very quickly. You notice they didn't find any planets. So let's send our fleet further on. Give me a sec. So we're going to select the fleet, and we're going to shift click, and we're going to boom, 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 boom. We'll let them zip through those 4, and I see there's an option here as well as an option here. So that'll give them something to do for a while. Now, we have another fleet we've been developing. How many ships here? 4? We got 4 corvettes. Should we send them out like way ahead? Sure. Let's do it. Let's send them to here. Oh, is it too far? Whoa, whoa, whoa. No, here, I don't have them selected. Here we go. Let's send them to... We did... No? All right, let's just send them to here. Oh. We need a scientist ship with a scientist or a military fleet led by a commander to explore a system we have no intel on. Whoa. I just learned something. So check this out. First fleet is commanded by Augustine. However, second fleet, yep, has no commander. So although it can sit there at Sol or it can travel around our controlled space, we can actually, in fact, move it to Zvox. Let's do that. Let's move this ship to the Zvox system to protect Zvox as a choke point. We might also eventually have our other fleet get up here to Orthama. Yeah, the first fleet might return to Orthama or Olum as our choke point, or even here's is another choke point potentially. They can't explore. So that's a limitation of having a fleet without a leader, is they cannot explore. I didn't know that. Learned something new. Okay. So that means if we have a free general floating around or admiral, we might want to put them in charge of the second fleet. We could do that potentially. But otherwise, yeah, we might as well push them to the front. They're not really defending anything back in Sol. So it makes sense to move your fleets forward. The other benefit you gain from having a commander is they do give actual bonuses to the attack stuff. Here, if we mouse over, what do we got here? Profession, Minister of Defense, awesome. Effects on the Empire is ship upkeep reduction, army upkeep reduction, starbase upkeep reduction. That's cool. Commanding the first fleet. What do they give to our damn fleet? I'm looking somewhere. Here we go. The trait Unyielding makes the ship hull points military fleet effect, meaning this is just their fleet, if I'm not mistaken. Not all the fleets. Just there's all the ship's hull points are increased by 15%. Their hit points. And the combat disengagement chance is reduced by 33%. Meaning Augustine is unyielding. She does not want to run. She might run, but she doesn't want to. She'll stay in the fight longer. Interesting. A little bit of a trade-off there. Her ships are tougher, but she doesn't like to run. Okay, this leader would prefer to fight to the death than admit defeat. That's cool. But really what that's telling us is, for the second fleet, we could consider going to our commanders. We've only got 1 of 3. Right now we're maxed out 3 of 3 officials, 3 of 3 scientists, but we have headroom there for more commanders. We could hire one of these folks, get him into that job. I actually see that Lorena Martinez is a commander who is not a green commander. She's not new, level 1. She's a level 3 commander who would come in with some useful stuff. And as we look down the list here, we can see that how she would, as a sector governor, she would have those effects. As a planetary governor, she'd have those effects. So even a commander can be a governor of a world. That's cool. Governing home planet effect is a plus halves to stability. Oh, that seems useless. Commanding an army, okay, is actually, and commanding ship fleet, ship fire rate plus 3%, disengagement opportunities is plus 0.0. That seems very small effects. So am I going to run out and hire a commander to put in charge of the second fleet? No. No, I don't. I don't want to eat the 2 Unity tax every single month on it. I want my Unity. I want my Unity. Although Lorena here does have the special ability of Careful too. What does that yield? Less damage to population from orbital bombardment. She's less likely to blow up the wrong building. That's nice. And army effect. Yeah, she she reduces the collateral damage and has a better chance of disengaging. So she's actually a very careful commander. Cool. But for the time being, I don't want another commander leader. So we'll just run the clock forward. Where are we at here? We're waiting for this to get to 290. Because there we go. We're going to pause the game real quick. We're going to jump into the election. We've got 2-3 months left to the election. And I can see here the support. Can I left click a candidate? Left click. Boom. Okay, so I've selected Dolores. She's highlighted. I can see this is no longer grayed out, and I can now burn 290 of our Unity. Let's do it. Keep in mind, her current support is sitting at 64%. Or sorry, just 64. Click it. 69. Supported one time. Oh my gosh. The rate has gone up, but if we were to spend more now, we could support her again. We could keep artificially throwing our support behind that leader if we wanted to. And when we mouse over this, oh, that's interesting. It doesn't list the support there. That's hilarious. It went up 5%, but it doesn't actually show it. Okay, that doesn't matter. We know now, having experimented, that one support yields 5. It's not 5%. It's 5 extra, I guess. Yeah. So there's a reasonable chance Dolores will win. I hope she does. I really want Dolores. She's at 69 support now. Okay, that's a great support level. It's such a good number. It's such a special number. I say that all the time. I'm mocking. I'm being mocking. I don't know. I just sorry. Just like I do not say okay when I see the number 69 to be like nice. It's not a nice. That's a what are we talking about? I'm not going to go into it. I'm not going to go into the birds and the bees with you kids, but let's just say it's more difficult than it looks, and in my opinion, as a married guy, it's more trouble than it's worth. We're just gonna play the game. We're just gonna go. Just run it forward. In my humble opinion, gentlemen, maybe ladies. I think the ladies would agree with me, quite honestly. So, here we go. New event popped up. Oh, we're sitting about an hour. Okay, yeah, we'll wrap this up. We're about done here for the day. So here we go. Solar Sailor. This is around Orthama 2A, so it's one of the moons of Orthama 2. Kang is there at level 2. It's a routine difficulty. That's perfect. I think we might have him go for that. If we mouse over, we can see that, in fact, I believe our Discovery Traditions, gives us a plus 20% on the speed there, as well as it's in parity with his level. It's a level 2 anomaly. So that's really good. It's quick. 3 months. Yeah, screw it. We're not in a rush right now. Listen, we want our scientists to keep surveying. However, we're capping out on our influence. We're trying to catch up with the surveys to claim them as it is. And, quite frankly, we haven't found a damn another colony world yet. So, screw it. Phooey. Let him research it. Let him take the 100 turns. Boom. And I think we'll stop right there. Just over an hour. If you watched, thank you. Sorry, that's not a question. Thank you if you watched it. Seriously. We're going to develop the Zvox system because it's awesome. And we're just going to keep our eyes open for a gosh darn habitable planet. We have a colony ship ready. To me, that's really the next thing we need. We're working on our building corvettes. Yeah. We might throw a couple more of those into the queue. And right now our colonies are finishing up on those entertainment centers. There's not a whole lot else we can do right now, to be quite honest. Yeah. That's it. That's a good stopping point. The election will resolve next month. We'll see who our new president is. I'm so excited to find out. All right, folks. Take care.